And welcome back to the Nutmeg. This is the video where we get to deliver all of the cars that we've been sorting, bringing up to the sorting track and then sorting out into their individual cuts of cars. In the past two videos, this is part 3 of I think what's going to be a 4-part series, because at the moment this video is a little over almost 21 minutes, and we don't even get to all of the industries. So what we're going to do here is we're going to shove down on the municipal siding or spur, pull out all of the cars, set those out onto track 3, on the end of track 3 there, deliver the cars to the municipal lot, and then we'll be off to deliver these center beams over to Riverhead. So stick around. It's a much longer layout or stretched out layout than the last layout, so things take a little bit longer. However, having everything stretched out the way that it is, honestly, I personally like it doing the operations myself in person. However, I can see how just simply watching the slow action of a train going down a siding and then pulling out, and then just the slow pace of everything, it does not lend itself so well to the video. So in a little bit I figured out how to trim that up and make things go a little bit faster, but this initial shove down to get all the cars, I didn't trim that up quite yet, I didn't, and then on my next shove down it goes a lot quicker. So I'm just getting used to doing the video on this longer track, and figuring out like the balance of what to cut out, what to not cut out. And at this particular moment, I've got a little bit of a ramp that's intended to grab some logs off of flat cars, that I had put some rocks as a retaining wall up against, and one of them was a little bit too close and hung up on one of the cars there. So but hang with me. We almost have all these spent cars or empty cars out onto track 3. Forgive my unmarked boxcar. I entirely forgot that it was down there all the way at the end, as a bit of a placeholder at the warehouse. I've got about 10 of those that I need to paint up and get running around here on the layout. But that's of course a project for another day, as anybody else has plenty of projects to do. I think first things first, though, I probably got to get rid of this pink desert, and then I can get to the boxcars and then everything else. So, but in any case, we've got our cars pulled out onto track 3. All we got to do is deliver these cars, and as you could see on the last cut of video, I trimmed it up and made things go a little bit quicker, so you guys don't have to stick around for the whole thing, but you can get the gist of everything that's happening. This blue MEC car or Pan Am car is going to end up being its own delivery towards the end of this video. It's going to be an interesting bit of shuffling around and maneuvering, just to be able to deliver that one thing. But before we get to that, we're going to end up having to take care of these center beams in the flat car with the pipe load, shove those down onto the Riverhead transload facility. And of course, as I'm watching this, I'm realizing that I've got 2 tank cars sitting out in the middle of, I don't know, what would otherwise be a dirt lot. I'm not sure why those are sitting there, to be honest with you, but. Pause here, flip the switch back, and then go down and grab these few cars from the municipal spur, because they're kind of fouling up the other tracks in this sorting yard on the other end of it, which we need to open in order to do a runaround in the future. So we're just going to pull these down to the other end of the track, on track 3, just to make sure that they're out of the way of the switches down at the north end, I believe it is, because all of the action happens primarily around the southern end. And here we go. We're down here at the southern end of the track. Pull forward just a little bit, and on track 2 you can see the reefer cars, and then there's also a tank car and a shoving platform, if you'll remember, on the north end of that cut of cars. Those cars are why we need the north end of the track clear, because I've got to get around those so that I can shove them where they need to go. But here we go. We're going to head down to Riverhead Transload. We've got a shot of our Walters supply here on the bottom left. This brown BKTY car is where that MAC car, the blue box car, is going to go. That's the end of my most recent update to this track, which is it's a switchback spur. Honestly, and it's got 3 industries on this switchback, so it can get a little tricky getting down in there, which is why we only deliver 1 or 2 cars at a time. So because we've got multiple other cars that we got to move in and out, and it's kind of a pain in the neck, but it's but at the same time, I think that it's an interesting bit of a puzzle to try and figure out which goes where and at what time. So, but you'll see more of that coming up. Alright, we'll just shove these 2 center beams to their spot, cut those loose, and then pull the pipe load farther down on the southern end of the spur here. If I had some box cars going to the warehouse, those would be on the other end of this train, before the center beams. And those would get shoved all the way down to the warehouse. Then we'd park these center beams, and then we'd cut loose the center beams and pull the pipe loads a little bit farther. So that's the arrangement of cars that we need there. So it goes box cars, center beams, and then flat cars. But it just makes for interesting operations. There's 3 spots over at the warehouse, and there's about 4 spots for center beams and flat cars. So, but again, this spur is really it's super long, far longer than any spur that I had on my previous track, because my previous track was only 10 feet long. So, from the midpoint, you could only get like 4.5 feet worth of a siding. So, on a good day. But this track is per shelf, and I've got 2 shelves. Each shelf is about 30 feet long. So I can make those spurs I've made those spurs pretty long. So I can get multiple spots on each of them. But that's just simply what I wanted is being able to have long spurs, long stretches of track where I could fit about 12 cars on each of the sorting tracks. In the real world, it'd be like, well over 20 cars per track on the sorting track. But this is a little bit more condensed, but at the same time, it's in scale, it kind of makes it a little bit more, feel a little bit more prototypical. So, and that's exactly what I wanted. And I give a lot of credit to my wife for letting me monopolize this space down here, and I've got to get working on making it into more of a family room. But at the moment, it's pretty well dominated by the train track. So, okay, here we go. We're headed down onto the switchback spur. You can see the BKTY over there at the end of the spur, and that's where this blue Pan Am car is going. But we're gonna have to park that out here because the southern car, not southern, what the heck was it? The other box car that was sitting out in front to the left. That needs to be respotted in that spot. So we've got to go down here, grab the one car that we're getting out, and then do a bit of shuffling. So we're going to be going in and out of this switchback spur here for a hot minute. First things first, though, we've got to get this slurry car. This industry that the slurry car and the Southern Pacific car is up against is a magazine printer, and I think that it'd probably be a little bit overkill for a tank car of clay slurry to be parked out in front of for the glossy paper. But in any case, that's what I'm doing. Just to be able to give a spot for the slurry cars. I had gotten a bunch of slurry cars that I had planned on doing an Omia. So I've got a bunch of Vermont Rail locomotives and everything. And of course, if you've been around for a while, you'd know that I had started out as Vermont Rail down in Connecticut, but and I had intended to have an Omia facility, so I started buying up some clay slurry cars, and now I have them, and I don't have a place for them to go necessarily, but except for this one industry. So if you've got any ideas of what I could do with them, I was thinking maybe I could do like a water treatment facility, or whatever else. But right about now, best thing I've got is this one facility that I'm calling a magazine printer, where I'm going to have one or two slurry cars at a time being delivered. So yeah, let me know if you can think of another industry, and I might add that in down on the lower deck. So as I said, this Southern Pacific car gets respotted. So I've kind of got to pull this BKTY car out a little bit, cut it loose, grab the Pan Am car, and then pull the Pan Am car down, grab the BKTY, and set it where the Pan Am car is right now. But a little bit of shuffling going on just to be able to deliver one car. In the background, you'll see the GE locomotive that delivered this cut of cars to the sorting track or sorting yard, and that is where I was thinking of having essentially the shops for the Nutmeg Rail, but I've come up with a different idea to have that down on the lower deck, next to where the interchange is, so that it can be right next to that, which leaves this spur that the Nutmeg locomotive is sitting on right about now, without anything going on. And I've been kind of struggling with the track plans, figure out where my recycling facility is going to go, because I've got some well cars that I'm going to get a double stack garbage car or garbage train or recycling facility going on. And this spur would be probably the perfect spot because it's a fairly long spur, and around the turn where the room turns the corner, we've got a siding over there that would work well for a scrapyard. So in the next video, I'm going to have some scrap gondolas staged over there, so that you can see where I'm talking about. But yeah, so that's the plan moving forward, is to have this whole siding and spur where so right there in the background is where that scrapyard is going to be. So stay tuned for that. That's coming up in the next video, or at least the Easter egg for that is up in the next video. So, but at the present moment, here we go. We've got one delivery to Walter's supply house. I used to have the idea where I was going to have Walter's puppy. What did I call it? Walter's puppy. I forget. Not Paradise. Not I forget what I was calling it. Walter's puppy something. Essentially a pet store kind of thing. In memory of my dog that passed last year, or this past summer. But instead, I've got his own industry that we're gonna deliver to. And here we go. We're spotting the Southern Pacific car back where it started from, and then we're out of here. As soon as we pick up that BKTY car, and shove things back onto the sorting tracks. We're going to be done for this video. Up next, we're going to have some deliveries to City Line distributors, as well as across the tracks to the LP Powers or LF Powers fuel distributors. And then we're going to bring another car. Is it LF Powers? Or did we already do that? Oh, I don't know. We're going to find out. And then the last car that we're going to deliver is down to Suburban Discount Oil. And then we're going to round out the whole video series by hooking up all of our pickups and taking them back down to the lower track. So, and in the future, I'm gonna have to work on the lower deck so that I can continue watching that train go all the way down, do some rail fanning on the way down to the interchange, where we can drop off cars and pick some more up. So yeah, it does look like we're gonna be delivering to LF Powers, because you can see that white tank car sitting there on the other side of the reefers. So, but let's park these guys on track 3, where all of the cars out of the municipal lot are sitting. Just sort of build our outbound train there as we go. And I guess we will see you in the next video. All right, part 4 coming up. Thanks for watching, and we will see you soon.